There's nothing quite like the excitement of Embarkation Day. You finally see the ship, and your vacation truly begins. But right here in this first hour is where most passengers fall into the common traps that start their trip with stress and frustration. But not you, not today. We're revealing the 12 things you should never do when you board. This is the playbook that helps you cruise smarter, calmer, and more prepared than 90% of the people on board. And pay close attention to mistake number 7. It's an innocent-looking setting on your phone that has led to vacation-ruining bills for over $1,000. Let's dive in and start your vacation the right way. Number 1. The same-day flight gamble. All right, let's kick things off with the biggest gamble in cruising, and it happens before you even see the port. It's the temptation to fly in on the morning of your cruise. I get it. It seems efficient. It saves you a hotel bill. But you are essentially playing financial roulette with your entire vacation. In today's world of unpredictable flights, one delay, one mechanical issue, or one weather system is all it takes to watch your multi-thousand-dollar trip literally sail away without you. And let's be crystal clear, the ship will not wait. There are no exceptions. The golden rule of stress-free cruising is simple. Always, always fly in the day before. This isn't just a tip, it's the single best way to eliminate embarkation day anxiety. Instead of a frantic, nail-biting race against the clock, you get a calm, leisurely morning just minutes from the terminal. And here's the pro move. Look into pre-cruise hotel packages. Services like GoPort in Orlando and similar companies in other port cities can bundle your hotel and your transfers from the airport and to the ship. It turns a logistical chore into the official first night of your vacation. Number 2. Getting your arrival time wrong. When you check in for your cruise, you have to select an arrival time, and this leads to the next mistake: not understanding the strategy behind that choice. While there are pros and cons to arriving early or late, what you should never do is disregard the time you selected. Now, this is a hotly debated topic. The official advice is to abide by the time you chose. Cruise lines create these slots to manage the flow of thousands of people and prevent the terminal from becoming chaotic. Arriving outside your time contributes to the massive queues that can delay everyone. However, many experienced cruisers find these times aren't always strictly enforced and regularly show up early without a problem. So, what should you do? The mistake is arriving early and expecting to walk right on. The safest bet is to stick to your time, but if you do arrive early, you must be aware that you might be asked to wait. The main thing is to consciously decide what kind of experience you want. An early arrival means more time to explore the ship. You'll have plenty of time to grab a bite to eat, check out the amenities, and start your vacation hours before those who arrive later. On the other hand, some people prefer to arrive late. Boarding around 1:30 or 2 p.m. typically means shorter lines, less congestion at the buffet, and immediate access to your stateroom, allowing for a more leisurely start. Number 3. Don't forget your carry-on bag. When you first arrive at the terminal, you'll be greeted by porters ready to take your large luggage. It's a fantastic service, but it leads to a critical mistake: handing over everything. What you should never do is let those big bags go without first packing a smaller, essential carry-on. Here's why. Once you give your main suitcases to the porter, they are whisked away into the ship's loading process. You will not see them again for hours. They'll be delivered outside your stateroom much later in the day. Because you won't have access to your packed clothes and toiletries, you must have a carry-on bag with all your important documents and valuables. This includes your passports and cruise documents, any necessary medication, jewelry, and electronics. It's also wise to pack a swimsuit and a change of clothes for the evening. And definitely don't pack away your cruise-specific items like the Princess Medallion or your printed luggage tags. You absolutely cannot send your suitcase off only to realize your passport is inside. You need it to complete the physical check-in process. Thankfully, most porters are trained to ask if you have your documents with you, but the final responsibility is yours. Number 4. Never attempt to sneak prohibited items on board. Packing for a cruise is unlike packing for a land-based vacation. There's a specific list of items that are prohibited on cruise ships, and what you should never do is try to sneak them past security. This includes obvious fire hazards like clothing irons and steamers, but there are also less obvious items. For example, some Caribbean countries actually prohibit camouflage-patterned clothing, so it's always critical to check the rules for your specific itinerary. If you try to bring a forbidden item in your carry-on, your boarding process will be stopped and delayed right at the security scanner. Likewise, if you try to smuggle something in your checked bags, they will also get flagged. This means you'll find a note in your cabin to go down and visit security, and it will significantly delay when you get your luggage delivered. The simple rule is to never assume something is allowed. A quick 5-minute check of your cruise line's official prohibited items list before you pack can save you a long, frustrating delay on embarkation day. Number 5. Don't try and skip the muster drill. Before the ship can set sail, every single passenger must complete the mandatory safety drill, also known as the muster drill. What you should never do is treat this as optional or something you can ignore. The ship is legally not allowed to leave port until every person is accounted for. The good news is that the process is much easier than it used to be. Today, most ships use a virtual muster system. You simply watch the required safety videos on your phone via the cruise line's app or on your stateroom TV, and then you visit your assigned assembly station for a quick check-in where a crew member will scan your card. The whole thing usually takes just a few minutes. Amidst all the excitement of embarkation day, it can easily slip your mind, but you won't be able to hide. The ship's crew will make frequent announcements, and they will eventually start calling out the names and cabin numbers of those who haven't completed it. Get it done the moment you get on board, and then you can relax, and your vacation can truly begin. Number 6. Do not consume too much alcohol. Vacation is a time to let loose, and if you have a drink package, you'll naturally want to get your money's worth. But the mistake you should never make is overindulging, especially on the very first day. Beyond just feeling awful with a hangover on day 2 of your expensive trip, there's a critical reason to drink responsibly: your travel insurance. Many policies contain clauses that may deny coverage for any injuries that happen while you are intoxicated. A simple slip and fall could turn into a major financial issue if your claim is denied. On top of that, you don't want to start your vacation feeling nauseous and dehydrated. Remember that the sun and sea air will dehydrate you faster, so it's essential to drink plenty of water between alcoholic beverages. It's fine to indulge more than you do at home, but know your limits. Your drink package is valid for the entire cruise, not just the first few hours. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. Number 7. Don't forget to turn off your cellular data. All right, pay close attention here. Of all the mistakes on this list, this is easily the most expensive one you can make, and it happens silently in the background. The mistake you must never make is forgetting to turn off your phone's cellular data before the ship pulls away from port. Once your ship is at sea, it switches to its own satellite cellular service, often called Cellular at Sea. The roaming fees for this service are astronomical and are not included in most domestic or even international phone plans. If you forget to turn off your data, your phone will be racking up charges in the background, and you could return home to a shockingly large cell phone bill. The solution is simple and foolproof. Before the ship begins to sail, put your phone on airplane mode. If you've purchased a Wi-Fi package, you can then manually turn your Wi-Fi back on. Make it a ritual. When you hear that ship horn for the sail-away party, that's your final signal. Airplane mode on. No exceptions. Number 8. Don't miss the ship's departure. The sail-away party is a hallmark of any cruise, signifying the true start of your vacation. But the mistake to never make is being so busy unpacking or exploring that you miss the ship actually leaving port. Now, it's important to distinguish between the sail-away party and the sail-away experience. The party on the pool deck is a high-energy event with loud music and big crowds, and it isn't for everyone. If that's your style, by all means, join in. Just make sure to arrive a little early to grab a good spot. However, the essential thing is the experience of the ship pulling away from the dock and sailing into the open sea. Many experienced cruisers prefer a more relaxed atmosphere for this moment. Instead of joining the mob on the pool deck, find your own perfect spot. Watch from the quiet of your own balcony, find a forward observation deck, or grab a seat at an aft bar to watch the wake. The organized party is optional, but the departure is not. The point is, don't be inside. Be somewhere you can watch the coastline disappear. It's a magical moment, and it's the real start of your journey. Number 9. Ignoring your cabin steward. Your cabin steward or room attendant is one of the most important crew members for your overall comfort, so the mistake you should never make is treating them like they're invisible. Their job is more than just making your bed and refreshing your towels. They also deliver important documents to your cabin, from port information to your final disembarkation instructions. On the first day, you should make an effort to introduce yourself. This helps establish a good relationship and is the perfect time to make any initial requests, like asking for extra pillows, a certain bed configuration, or for the minibar to be emptied. However, be aware that Embarkation Day is incredibly busy for them, so you might not actually see them until day 2. If you don't worry. A great tip for any non-urgent request is to simply leave them a polite, written note in the cabin. They'll appreciate your consideration during such a hectic time, and it ensures your needs are met. A little effort to connect on day 1 goes a long way for the rest of your voyage. Number 10. Do not go straight to your cabin. If you're one of the first people to board the ship, the mistake you should never make is assuming you'll have immediate access to your stateroom. Going straight to your cabin and expecting it to be fully ready will only lead to disappointment. Typically, the cabin hallways are blocked off while the stewards work, and staterooms aren't officially open to guests until the afternoon, usually between 1 and 2:30 p.m. That said, doors are sometimes unlocked earlier, letting you drop off your carry-on before heading back out to explore, but you shouldn't rely on it. Instead, use this time wisely. Grab lunch, walk the decks, and learn the ship's layout. This is also a reason to be strategic about your arrival time. If you plan on carrying on beverages like soda or wine, you may want to select a later arrival appointment so you don't have to worry about lugging it all around the ship for 2 hours. Number 11. Don't wait too long to unpack. At some point in the afternoon, often before the ship even sails, you'll find that your checked luggage has been delivered outside your cabin door. The mistake you should never make is procrastinating on your unpacking. While it might not be the most exciting first-day activity, you should devote some time to it right away. Living out of a suitcase creates clutter and keeps your stateroom from feeling like you're home away from home. Taking 20 minutes to unpack as soon as your bags arrive ensures you can settle in faster and makes getting ready for dinner much easier, as you won't have to shuffle through your bags looking for cosmetics or a change of clothes. To make the process smoother, a great pro tip is to pack a few extra foldable hangers, as cabins rarely have enough for a full cruise wardrobe. Once you're done, don't forget the most important step. Store your empty suitcases underneath the bed. This is the best place for them, and it frees up valuable floor and closet space. Because they're tucked away, it's even more critical that you prioritize unpacking so you don't have to constantly pull your luggage back out. Number 12. Don't start your vacation in the guest services line. And finally, the last mistake. On Embarkation Day, you will almost always see a surprisingly long line at the guest services desk, often snaking across the ship's atrium. The thing you should never do is waste the first precious hours of your vacation waiting in it. While some people have legitimate issues, one of the biggest reasons for this line is a flood of passengers hoping to get a last-minute free cabin upgrade. Let's be very clear. In today's world of cruising, ships sail almost completely full. The chances of a free upgrade being available are incredibly slim, and if an upgrade is available, you will almost certainly have to pay for it. Starting your trip with a long, frustrating wait only to be told no is a terrible way to begin. Instead, use that time to actually start your vacation. Go grab that first cocktail, explore the top decks, or have a relaxed lunch. Unless you have an urgent issue that only guest services can solve right at that moment, it is always best to let the initial embarkation rush die down. You can visit them later in the evening or the next day when the lines have vanished. Your vacation time is the most valuable currency you have. Don't spend it waiting in line. All right, that playbook puts you ahead of 90% of the other passengers. If you're finding this valuable, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into cruising secrets. And don't go anywhere, because I have 2 final pro-level bonus tips. First, avoid the buffet for your embarkation day lunch. It's famously called a zoo for a reason, and it can be a chaotic and stressful first meal. Instead, check your cruise line's app or the daily planner. Often, the main dining room or another complimentary restaurant is open, offering a much more relaxed and civilized dining experience to kick off your trip. Second, protect your luggage from the elements. Your bags can sometimes be left on an uncovered pier in the rain before being loaded onto the ship. To be safe, a great hack is to spray the zipper area of your luggage with a fabric waterproofer like Scotchgard before you even leave home. It's a simple step that can save your clothes from a damp start to your vacation. And there you have it, the complete playbook to mastering embarkation day. Avoid these mistakes, and you'll be relaxing with a drink in hand while everyone else is stuck in those predictable traps. But now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what is your number 1 can't miss embarkation day secret? Let's build the ultimate guide together. Thanks for watching, and until the next sailing, happy cruising.